Erin is going to tell us about October 3rd, 2003, how her life changed that day, and how it's made her more aware of just all of the food around us. Please welcome Erin Fujimoto as she talks about a gluten-free diet. Erin Fujimoto.
Gluten, 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 gluten. Gluten free, gluten free, gluten free, gluten free, gluten free, gluten free. What is this gluten-free thing that seemed to come out of nowhere? 10 years ago, no one had heard of it, and now there seems to be talk of it everywhere. What is gluten, and why do people need to go gluten-free? Life as I knew it changed October 3rd, 2003. The simple task of eating was no longer simple. Celiac disease. I had never heard of it. When I learned what it was, I was in shock. I was in denial. I was in despair. I can never have bread, ever, again. It was like a parade of my favorite foods passed before my eyes, just like your life is supposed to pass before your eyes when you die. The irony was that just a few months earlier, my 1-year-old son had an allergic reaction to eggs. We had no known allergies in our family, so I studied up on it. When I did that, I learned that there are 5 common allergies: dairy, soy, eggs, nuts, and wheat. I remember saying to myself, thank God he's not allergic to wheat. That would be the worst. And now it was me. Gluten is a protein in wheat, and I could never have it again. As I learned more about celiac disease and began to accept the situation as a chance to improve my health, I started to research the details of gluten-free living. It was quite overwhelming. First of all, it was very upsetting that I couldn't even have a little. None. Then there was the extensive list of foods that contain gluten. Then, to top it off, I had to worry about the cross-contamination issue. How would I ever be able to do this? I'm not going to lie. It was rough for a few years. The first year, I cheated on the diet all the time. I was kind of testing it, thinking the allergist could have been wrong. I felt like crap. That was the physical part. Mentally and emotionally, I was stressed and depressed. I had to constantly analyze ingredients and wonder, can I have this? I had anxiety over explaining my situation to people. You don't realize how much food is a part of our lives until it's taken away. Almost all social events revolve around food. Potlucks, barbecues, parties, luncheons, dates, going out with friends, school and work events, holiday gatherings, having friends over, etc. Suddenly, your options are: don't go to events, don't eat at the events, eat and take the chance that you will get sick, eat beforehand, bring your own food, or tell the host about your situation, but usually he or she will have no idea how much is involved in gluten-free, making gluten-free dishes, including the cross-contamination issue, and then you have to stress about telling them what to do. Okay, when you make this for me, do it like this. You know, that's not fun. Everything takes planning ahead of time. In addition to the anxiety of this new change to my social situation, I felt like an outcast, a freak. I've had people tell me they would rather be dead than be me. I've had people tell me what I have is worse than cancer. It is not. It's an inconvenience. I have given up most convenience foods, which at first seemed almost impossible. And I cook mostly from scratch. But guess what? Because of this, I have become really creative in the kitchen and I am a fabulous cook. It's just an adjustment. And the good news is that more and more people are hearing and learning about it, and therefore there are more gluten-free options available in restaurants and stores. So what is celiac disease, and what does it have to do with gluten? I often tell people it's a food allergy because that's easy for people to understand, but actually it's an autoimmune disease. When people with celiac disease ingest gluten, which is a protein found in wheat, barley, oats, and rye, it causes the body to attack itself. The inside of our intestines have these tiny finger-like projections called villi. These are very important to our health. They are what absorb the nutrients from our food as the food passes through our digestive system. When in celiac disease, these villi are attacked and atrophy, causing the person not to be able to absorb nutrients. This can lead to a host of other problems, including ADD, chronic fatigue, depression, fibromyalgia, headaches, infertility, intestinal cancer, osteoporosis, pancreatic disease, and shortened life expectancy. So as you can see, this is a serious thing. Going gluten-free is not just a fad diet or something to eat healthier. It is a necessity for people with celiac disease. It's important for others to realize the seriousness of the condition and to not treat the celiac person like they are just trying to be difficult. Believe me, it's difficult enough to avoid gluten without trying to make it more difficult. Some general stuff to know about staying gluten-free is it only takes a crumb to make you sick. Cross-contamination is an issue, and some examples of cross-contamination are when you take the knife and you dip it into the mayonnaise and you spread it on the bread and then you stick the knife back in the jar. Now the mayonnaise is contaminated, and if the person with celiac disease eats from this jar, they will be sick. Another example is serving spoons touching gluten, like if you're in a buffet or somewhere where there's gluten-containing foods and non-gluten-containing foods. If you use the same serving spoon, you've contaminated the gluten-free food and you will get sick if you have celiac disease. Stuff being cooked on a grill or a surface where gluten has been cooked. If some chicken was cooked on the grill with barbecue sauce that contained gluten, then next time you cook on it, it's already contaminated with gluten, so you can't do that. Another example, if the waitress brings you a salad that has croutons on it, you can't just pick the croutons off. The croutons have already touched the salad, it's contaminated. You have to send it back, get a new salad brought out to you, and pray the waitress did not just pick them off herself and bring it back to you. Another thing that gluten is in things you wouldn't expect. It's in beer, it's in barbecue sauce, soy sauce, canned soup, salad dressing, envelopes, stamps, hair products, makeup, medications, spices, Play-Doh. It's in a lot of things. So you have to do your research and you have to read labels. So next time you see or hear gluten-free, know there is a lot more to it than just making a dietary choice. For those with celiac, it's a choice that truly affects their quality of life.